Hi, we're live at Mobile Growth Summit. I'm Peggy and Salz. We're going to have a day's worth of podcasts, some key learnings, some cool people. I think cool people, that's where I'll stop because I'm my guest right now, Wilson Kriegel, head of Robn, but also serial entrepreneur. Robn. Yeah, right, really. Wilson, you do have Robn on at this point.
Robn
so tell me
on,
about
yes.
it, and you can tell me about it and show. It's show and tell.
So basically, after PicsArt, which has been a monster success, I decided to solve something differently, which was in the outdoor activity space. Mm-hmm. I looked at the market and I said, okay, your only option when you're running and cycling and skiing and
You got to
snowboarding.
put that thing on the shoulder, which is a
it's
pain.
earbuds or headphones.
Oh yeah, that
right?
too.
And
that
so
too.
there's tens of thousands of accidents a year, people using their phone while cycling.
Yes.
You know, there's 80% harassment of women runners.
Oh.
To date, statistically, and only thus half as many women wear earbuds or headphones while running because they need to hear ambient sound, and ambient sound implies safety.
Yes.
So for a man's safety is not getting hit by a car. For a woman's safety is me.
Yeah, true.
So
true.
when I looked at the spectrum of what was available in the market for people who live actively, and that's 150 million Americans who are outdoor living, 50 million a week who are doing multiple activities outdoors a week, 50 million runners, 50 million cyclists.
Yeah.
What is your option to, while you're active, communicate, to listen to something, to be safe while you're outdoors and interact with essential technologies, which essentially are audio, communication, and camera.
Yeah.
Right? That's 90% of how we use our phone anyway.
Yeah.
And there was really no product. And so I decided to build Robn as an opportunity to build a hands-free and headless audio communication camera company that would create a suite of products, starting with the harness onto a smart backpack and other products that would enable for people who live outdoor actively to do so safely with good functionality and deliver great experience. And so that's why we built Robn. So it's as easy as...
I love to see this. Yeah, show us.
I'm gonna turn it on, and the music can start, going through the speakers. So you'll hear it at different volumes.
Yeah.
Right. You control over here.
Yeah.
You can connect to Siri. So if you want to control your phone while you're active, hey, give me directions to somewhere. Call my mom.
Yeah.
You control your Siri or OK Google directly through the connectivity. Cool. It has a microphone. If a call comes in, it will ring. Cool. You can directly click and start talking. It will go right back to your music. And then we have LED lights in the back because obviously it's important to be...
I have to say, my producer, TJ, you're going to love this one. You can't see it, but...
Am I on? Am I off?
Yeah. It's cool. It's definitely cool.
And so what we're trying to create is it's only 7.8 ounces, so it weighs no more than your phone does.
Okay.
It's Bluetooth driven, so any format of content that you are consuming through your phone can be consumed through the wearable. Coaching app, running app, meditation app, your radio, your podcast, whatever that may be that you're into while you're active.
Yeah.
We created software like Slack, which allows you to communicate with other people in groups. So if you're in a Peloton and you want to have a 10-people group that you can communicate to real time through the wearable while you're listening to the same music as a group.
Okay.
So it's group listening, one-on-one chat, group chat. So we combine software through mobile with hardware and create a hands-free, headless, safe experience to consume audio and communication outdoor.
So I remember we connected last year. You've done a lot of work on this. I mean, first of all, it's looking great.
It's nearly waterproof.
Yeah.
It's less than 8 ounces. It's
and you've made it so connected. I mean, it's like a connected device in itself.
Yeah, I mean it's a smart device.
But I mean like the whole chat thing, have a group. Make fitness into what it is.
Well, what's important is if you
activity.
think about group activities, that ultimately people are often out there running with somebody, or often out there cycling with somebody. And often, when I did, we did over 200 live usability survey testing and over 20 prototypes in 6 months. So basically under a year, we created 2 hardware SKUs and a mobile app that we released in 9 months under $1 million.
Okay.
Which had never been done in the Valley because the average hardware company gets funded for $2 or $3 million and takes 2.5 years to go to market.
So, funding inside out, and you've been doing this, at a record pace, I would say. But you probably have a couple of insider thoughts, from experience about funding and going a little bit, where no man has gone before in such a speed. So what could you share about what funding is like now for a person like you with an idea like that?
Hard. But
okay, hard is the word. All right.
No,
okay.
It's hard. It's hard because if you're not in most VCs are fast followers.
Yeah.
So you have to have a credible background. So of course I was able to get easy seed capital. But it's much harder to get scalable capital.
Yeah.
So I have a track record with PicsArt, with OMG Pop, with Curse, and Outspark. But most people, hardware was 2010, 2015. A lot of companies got burned, Fitbit, GoPro, etc. No longer viewed as viable capital output. So what I did was when I heard that, Series A were not like that interested in it, I said, well, why is that? And what I did is introduce me to the guys who fail. I don't want to be the guy who was successful. I want to understand why it is that these companies fail, that you no longer believe in that industry.
So you went out and you did due diligence and understanding.
With not just consumers, with not just with prototyping, live usability, but
with the actual
founders
entrepreneurs
and entrepreneurs to understand the economics of the business, the manufacturing process. I'd only done software, as you know, in media and gaming.
Yeah.
So I wasn't worried about, well, can I get consumers? Can I market the product? Can I optimize my funnel? I knew I could do those things.
Yeah.
What I didn't know is
how to get the funding.
How to get the funding to manufacture a product and get it to market and have people use it and have it work.
So I mean, you probably heard a lot of stories, but maybe there's like some themes that went through and said like
three very basic
things. Okay. Yeah. We can almost do late night here. Number one.
No data on consumers. When early companies of hardware came out, they didn't have any information on their users, on their usage. So if you don't know who your users are or what usage is, that has a material impact on your marketing, on your retention, re-engagement,
Makes
etc.
sense.
Right?
Yeah.
And that was mostly because there's most
So
of these
they didn't check if there was a fit with the market.
Well, even when it was live, they knew nothing about who was using it and when they were using it and how they were using it. And that was a big part because early hardware companies didn't have mobile apps.
Yes.
So there was no life cycle. They bought it, and then who knows what happened to it.
So how do you solve that?
You create a mobile product that ties into the use cases and create value to the mobile product so that they engage, and then the hardware pushes data to the mobile product, which which should create value for the consumer, but on an operational standpoint,
those
it creates
ongoing engagement touch points.
So we know how many times a week our users are using our product.
Obviously, because they're
how many hours a week they're using
Yeah.
it. We know what activities they're in. We know their demographic. We know their genders and location.
Smart.
Which is hugely important back to marketing.
Yes.
Right. And also creating opportunities
that
for velocity,
virtuous cycle and velocity,
exactly.
Yeah, makes sense.
Now the second piece was everybody thought that the business economics relied around your ability to get cheaper components. And so early on they were like, we have to buy large volumes to reduce the cost of something that's a commodity, right? Like 10 years ago, a battery was $10. Today a battery is sub $1. So that's no longer where you win in the business. But what happened with that is that you end up cash flow issues. You overcapitalize businesses on products that you don't know whether people are buying.
Yes.
And
because you don't have that feedback loop.
It.
Exactly.
So now you end up with overinvestments of product that end up in your warehouse. And the last piece was there was no direct consumer in 2010. Instagram, Facebook was not the way of selling retail.
Okay.
You went to Best Buy. You went to specialized retailers.
True.
Those guys take 40 to 50% of a unit price.
So the whole idea is like do it yourself. Set up your website, just do it.
So you gotta get the data. You gotta understand the use cases and your demographic. You gotta get a life cycle in place. You direct market.
Got it.
And you sell within your own channels, or at least channels that are cost efficient.
Okay.
Affiliates, ambassador programs, all sorts of things. And discount
Do you have an ambassador
codes.
program for this as well?
We have over 200 micro influencers that we don't pay.
You don't pay?
Yeah, that's correct.
I thought I was missing something. I mean, I know it's loud. I know we're live and it's loud, but how do you manage that one? You just tell here, just take it and go out and have a
early on, as I was doing live usability testing, I started finding my core audience. People who immediately saw very high impact on safety or experience of functionality.
Okay.
And I then kept on bringing them the new products. And I made them core users in a way, and people who loved it. And they loved the fact that they were participating.
You empowered them to participate.
I built a product through empowering users who would potentially be buyers to learn from them as well as make them a part of a process.
And micro influencers, that was really interesting. How did you find them? They just came to you and said, I want the product?
You go on Instagram and you see who has 50,000 followers, 20,000 followers, and then you reach out and you're like, hey, I have this product. And we're not live yet, but if you're interested in testing it, we're happy to send you one. And these are all pre-release, kind of seed stage, prototype.
Yeah.
So, a lot of these can be manufactured at very little cost to no cost because the manufacturing now in China includes R&D in their processes. So another way that we were so cost efficient and agile is that we didn't have to build all the molds and all the templates and all the printers to create the product. We did that directly within the factories.
Okay.
And the factories, what they want is your business. They want 20,000 orders a month.
Yes.
So they're like, what is it to me? 50,
and they want to progress with you as you go through iteration,
what is it to them to invest $50,000 in R&D? It's a lot to you as a startup. It's nothing to them.
That's smart.
And so we were able to, in a very agile way, hire teams that focused on packaging, the brand, the mission statement, focus on factories that would work with us in actual R&D dynamics that were very agile and allow us to, on a bi-monthly basis, release product that we could test, and also help us seed the market at no cost, almost. And all these things come together, and you go live, and you have a bunch of you people already using your product, creating
Right.
content, socializing that content.
So now
and-
you're a your follower funders are saying, hey, he's onto something. He's got a movement. He's got the micro influencers. He's got production cycle
It
completely
becomes
figured
more
out.
than just technology, right? The biggest
Yes.
challenge in the Valley is to have people believe that hard tech is not the end all and be all to building a great company over the long term, right? But building a community and building a brand that people resonate to, want to embrace, want to participate, want to talk about. So if you think about Away, Peloton, SoulCycle,
Yeah, and it's
Nike,
doing well.
they're all Apple. They're
Yeah.
all brands that people want to be, that they want to project as well as want to be associated with.
It's a community.
It's a
Again.
community, right? And so I applied the 20 years of gaming
Okay.
and core games and MMOs and software and creators.
Yeah.
And I replicated that piece to a hardware model. And then I also created efficiencies in how we produce product at a lower cost. And instead of thinking like I had to build the best technology in the world, I viewed it as I have to build very good technology that's price sensitive, but deliver great experiences.
Great
And
experience.
if people believe that they would have a great experience and a high impact experience and that they will use it a lot, on a weekly basis, then you've created high velocity.
So how did you square it with the funding so far? Can you give me a little bit of an insight?
Yeah,
or
we basically been live I think for just over 3 months in a soft launch and
Okay.
released. So we incorporated the company literally in October 2018.
Okay.
We released the product in November 2019.
Oh, okay.
Right, and we did that under $800,000 of capital, and then we've been doing what I would consider to be soft launch marketing to evaluate funnel, demographic, messaging, targeting, and optimizing the funnel to right on center CAC. Not because you have to have a profitable CAC out of the gate, but because you want to understand your benchmarks and KPI to what your business model will look like once you once you start getting more capital on board. So
how are you getting that, feeding into that funnel? I mean, is there a specific way? It
Facebook and
sounds like there's a
Instagram is
lot
huge.
I was going to say, it has to be certain channels that
Yeah.
are really like where visual and influence.
It's very
So
video
Instagram is-
driven. It's very kind
Okay.
of functional, use case driven. So early on, we're like, let's talk about brand, but then people didn't understand the product because they need to be educated on the new
Exactly.
form
They don't know
factor.
what it does.
So
you have
then
to see what it does. I
Yeah,
mean, when you
so-
showed it to me, it's like, yeah, I get
And people,
it.
people are worried about noise pollution, but the truth is, noise. As you were barely hearing it, and you were 3 feet, 2 feet away from me. So noise control, because we have directional output speaker, and noise in motion doesn't carry. So
Right.
there's also a bit of education around people's worrisome of themselves or others that you're just blasting your music. But you don't want to blast music. You just
No.
want to be able to hear your
You wanna
content,
hear it.
get motivated, get excited, be pumped while you're running or cycling, be
Yeah.
able to take your calls and feel safe.
Absolutely.
And so, and
It's a proven concept. I mean, when we were kids, probably we had like a radio sort of like strapped
right.
around the handlebars of the bike or something, right?
yeah, absolutely. So
That's what worked.
there are little
It
boombox
did-
speakers that
Yeah.
were like,
I remember boombox. Yeah.
But because they were further
Yeah.
away from you,
Yeah.
and they had limited functionality. They weren't,
Yeah.
they actually created noise pollution. You had to have them loudly.
Yeah.
They were remote from you, so you weren't projecting in your direction. So we're within a couple
This is
inches away.
with the ears.
Right? So you don't need high volume.
Have you
to
also
actually
worked
have
on that,
proximity.
like how it works with how we hear and that sort of thing? Have you gone down
so
to
we
that
have
level?
actually, we also place the microphone within the remote instead of inside the speaker to have better voice capture,
Okay.
and less outdoors noise. So we have people who use this instead of their AirPods
Okay,
at the
cool.
office, which is not what the product is for, but because the quality is actually
But you
higher.
can see it because it's like then I can just keep typing and just keep doing. I'm in my zone.
Think about all
you
the
want
activities,
me,
whether you're at home, whether
Yeah.
you're running, whether you're cycling, like where you shouldn't have a hand in your phone in your hand, or you should,
Yeah,
or
sure.
you need both of your hands to do skiing, right? So suddenly you're in all these use cases, kayaking,
Yeah.
right? There's all these use cases where the worst thing you can do is pull out your phone, or not hear what's happening around you.
So you've got these great influencers who are using Instagram. Maybe you can share like campaigns or campaign stories because I can imagine the way you're approaching people is not by pure acquisition. It's probably
No.
like content marketing mixed with acquisition, mixed
Yes.
with data science. Something
Yeah.
pretty cool there. So
So we're
how
trying
is
to-
that working from a maybe a couple of case studies?
Yeah, what we're trying to blend is people whose segments are anywhere between 5,000 to 50,000. So they're
Okay.
not too high profile that they make too much of a living on Instagram or whatever. So
Right.
they
So they have to be genuine.
what?
They have to be genuine.
They have to be
and
genuine.
If they're making
they have
a
to be
living,
authentic.
yeah.
We do not use lifestyle people because they ultimately won't use the product again, and a one-time endorsement is not
True.
a way of generating value-driven,
True.
repeatable sales.
Yeah.
So we find runners, we find cyclists, we find skiers who actually genuinely like the product and use it.
Yeah.
And what we do is we say, we'll invest in growing content with you. We'll invest in promoting your content. We'll
Oh,
invest in
that's
promoting
smart.
your channel.
That's what you did, PicsArt. You're bringing it to here. That's so smart.
So
giving them a platform that they have skin in the game.
We look at how their audience responds, and then we mirror target those audiences onto Facebook or Instagram, and we also try to see is it more of a QVC type of commercial that we need to have? Is it more of a functional use case at a shorter 10-second clip? Do we need a more lifestyle 30-second clip?
Okay.
And then we let them produce content and we market it. And then a lot of them, we work with this wonderful women runner, Deborah in Brazil, who has a running club that supports women running as a form of lifestyle, health, fitness, safety. And she loves the product. She came to New York, we met her, we gave her the product, and she wears it all the time. But she also has a company that is a net positive company for women. And so we're constantly marketing her company for her and with her.
That's true.
And we view that as a net positive way of participating. And so when she has an event, like we'll say, hey, we'll send you a couple more units.
Absolutely.
Because when you think about marketing and your product, you have to look at it as like, okay, are you thinking about losing the retail value, or are you thinking about the unit cost that you're giving away? If my unit cost is $40, and I can have that one user be happy and give me 5 users that are going to pay the retail value.
Yeah, I mean, what would that be in a UA equation,
what was that real CAC cost me if I was going to have to pay for all 5 users?
Yeah.
So we look a little bit at the unit cost as a marketing tool, and we have great unit economics, and so we're able to leverage that. I think we have 70% margin on the product, something like that, 75%. Yeah. So there's enough room there for us to use the product as a tool of marketing. And we also do discount codes, so when we start seeing active users who have segmentations of users that have similar passion and who are trusted within their community, and they don't have to have that many, like 20, 30, 40, 50,000. We'll give them a discount code. Here's your own code with your own name, with your own, so that people realize that it's custom to you and they recognize it, and it's not just a generic code. And then we're able to track that code, and we know how many sales we got from that specific person who we gave a 20% code with.
So Instagram's working really well for you. What other channels are you looking into?
Facebook is always key, right?
Facebook
because
is
of
always
targeting,
key?
segmentation, scalability, optimization, ability to optimize ads relative to landing pages back into a purchasing funnel, and then live events. Like a couple of weeks ago, there was a safety runners group movement and conference in New York. Targeted towards women, targeted towards safety and the community. And every day they had a little bit live events like this and a running event. And so people would show up to hear, famous runners or, Lulu Mom or whatever that may be. And then we would participate and do raffles and donations and participate in the event. And then we'd have it with us for the run. So people would visually see it. They would visually and participate in understanding how the product works while they're out there with us. And then somebody would win in a raffle the product and then market that because they're like, hey, I just want this product. It's totally cool. I can't wait to use it. And it's good PR. So you're showcasing the value on a real-time basis. You're participating in the purpose movement that is net positive impact to a community. And then you're getting your product out there to somebody who feels like they just got something for free that they're enjoying to use.
I mean, you're like rewriting the book and playbook in so many different ways. I'd love to hear maybe like a bootstrapping story, because you have obviously had to think through funding. You've had to think through how you're marketing. Maybe you can leave us with a way that even you surprised yourself that like there's a way to do something differently, smartly, and have amazing results. I mean, the funding stories are great. So it's absolutely, do your homework, understand your consumer. Anything else?
I think, one of the things I was talking about on my panel is the entire life cycle. Like, we have to have customer support.
Yeah.
We are shipping something, and somebody should be able to respond back to you and tell you, I can't connect my Bluetooth. And you have to be immediately there. If something has a negative...
Is it like a chatbot for you, or is it an app, or
live
what?
person.
Just a live person, okay.
Yeah. Now, we respond via email, we respond on Instagram. Okay. But you have to engage with the community, both negative and positive.
Okay.
You have to reinforce the message, you have to educate, and you have to show that you're live.
Okay.
And so if a customer who was happy to buy your product is having a friction in the use case, if you don't engage with them to make them feel happy, even if it's just say, hey, you know what, I'll send you a new speaker, or let me this is how it works, then that person is disappointed at your brand and feels like they wasted $140.
Absolutely, because it's experience. Bad experience reflects badly on your brand.
Tutorials, reviews, testimonials, they're your lifeline. People trust in other people's movement.
Absolutely.
Right? The more you aggregate reviews, the more you aggregate testimonials, the more people visually see it, they hear it, they visualize it, like, it's real.
It's real.
So you gotta get followers, you gotta buy followers, you gotta, even if not as many as you're buying or marketing to are active, but there's a perception component to it. And those who ultimately want the product and have a good experience with it is the yield value. But I would say that the one way that I ultimately did something very different with a lot less capital is I decided to, instead of hiring a lot of people,
Yeah.
to look towards talent and incentivize them to work with me without being a full-time employee.
Yeah.
And so I was willing to say, hey, we have factories in China, we have R&D in Seoul, we have mobile development in Eastern Europe. But we also had amazing individuals such as Factory, which is kind of a talent incubator instead of just being an accelerator. Like they actually bring talent together, apply them to specific startups, and get equity in a small amount of cash for that. And they work on a project basis. So they're not there for the entire life cycle, but they're there for very defined milestones, which is what early startups are all about.
Yes.
You need a milestone, you raise seed capital, that gets you to another milestone, you raise a Series A. But if you want the best of the best, they cost you $300,000 or $400,000 a year. You can't afford those
talent,
people.
You can't afford it.
But for 3 months and a point in your company, you may be able to create the best packaging, branding, and mission statement that you could ever have for a point. Now, what would that person cost you if you hired them on top of incentivize them?
Wow.
A lot more than a point.
Yeah.
So what's the yield value of your equity on a time basis relative to your goals? And that's something that I did very differently here, which is instead of raising too much capital, I leveraged my equity and leveraged milestones and found people who create huge amounts of value.
Capital, exactly. What was the name of that company again you worked with?
Factory.
Yes. We're going to make a note of that because they're a
tremendous amount of talent.
Okay. Well, this has been very real and very genuine, and I'm sure that people will want to catch up with you, after, connect with you, maybe even, check it out. I mean, now I'm thinking of it right next door, close by. I'm saying, I could see that for when I'm on my bike. So
on your bike,
how do we?
You want to be safe, and still kind of have
Absolutely,
your moment.
absolutely.
Yeah. You go to GoRobn.com.
GoRobn.com. Okay.
At Robn.com on Instagram, and you can always connect me on LinkedIn at Wilson Kriegel, and I'm always responding to inquiries.
Awesome, Wilson. I love your energy, Wilson. Love to have you here as a guest.
Good to see you again.
Hey,
Pleasure.
awesome, Wilson. And
thank you.
Really cool. Thank you, and thank you for tuning in. We're live here at Mobile Growth Summit, and here all day.